Part 9 of how I got scammed by my Nigerian husband. I had to redo this one because I said names and I'm trying not to say names. But a couple of weeks after I got back home from my trip in December, and I apologize, y'all. It took me a minute to post this one because I had to take a mental health break because this part right here really was affecting me. It's crazy. It's been a few years and it's still that wound is still very, very sore. So I get home and I get home and probably a week and a half in or so, we get into it because he's drunk at somebody's house and we get into an argument and I get mad and I block him on everything. So he has a friend call me after like 2 days. A friend of his called me and he said, "Hey, do you remember me? I'm so-and-so. We're going to call him Fred. Fred. And you remember you met me when you was in Badagry with me." And I said, yeah, I remember you. He said, now, at this point, I had been used to him doing dumb things and making me mad, and I'm not taking his phone calls. So he would have one of his friends call me to apologize to me or whatever and ask me, please give him a chance. Just call him. Just take him off a block so he can call you and blah, blah, blah. And I'd fall for it every time. And so this particular friend was like, he's sick. He's at the hospital. He has to get a drip. So apparently somebody came to his house and gave him an IV. Right. And because I guess he had gotten so drunk and dehydrated, they had to give him fluids. So he calls me and is like, please, can you unblock him so y'all could talk and this and this. He's really sad. He's in a bad place, whatever. So I call him and somehow or another, we ended up talking it out or whatever. And I apologize, it's been a while, so I'm piecing it back together kind of. And that same friend, Fred, we'll call Fred, called me back a couple days later and was like, is everything okay? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm still kind of pissed. I said, but look, I'm working. I'll call you back in a minute. So I wait till my break. I call him back and I'm like, yeah, I said, he just made me mad and this and this. And he, of course, tried to give me all of his wisdom about Nigerian men and whatever. So later on that night, we make up. And I tell him, I said, I was so mad. I said that I talked to Fred. I said he called me to check on me, I guess, after the first thing. And then I called him back and I explained this conversation to him. He was like, oh, really? He said, because I saw him earlier. He didn't tell me that he talked to you. So I was like, I don't know. I said, but I talked to him and I sent him a screenshot of the phone call. It's probably like a 7 or 8 minute phone call. I sent it to him. Yeah, I talked to him. He said, oh, he'll probably talk to me and tell me about it, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay. So boom. Couple days go by and I speak to him that morning and he says to me, I saw Fred and Fred never told me that he talked to you. What's up with that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I sent you the screenshot. I told you what we talked about. If he didn't tell you, I said I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you just because of the fact that I didn't want him to come back and tell you something, So he's like, all right, well, we're having a party because one of my friends just gave birth. And so we're having a big party for him. So then later on that evening, my husband calls me and says, yeah, he said, we all decided some of us went to the market and got fish and some of us got alcohol and some of us got this and some of us got that. And we're all on our way to our friend's compound and we're going to celebrate with him and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't hear from him that night, but I figured it was because of the fact that, they're at the party and we've already had beef about the heavy drinking. So early in the morning, my time, which is very late over there. I'm thinking it was probably early evening, maybe. I don't know. But I get a call from the one good friend that I like. And the one good friend that I like proceeds to show me a bunch of bloody pictures showing me that Kenneth had got attacked by someone, and I don't know, it was a mess. One of the pictures, I said, well, is he dead? Like, I really thought I lost him. I was so distraught. I called my little inner circle of African wives, and it's like early in the morning, midday for some of them. And crazy enough, they all answered. Like, I did a group call, all of them answered, and I'm crying and screaming on the phone. And I don't know what's going on. Nobody's telling me nothing. I can't talk to nobody. It was a whole mess. Finally, I end up talking to one of his sisters. She ends up calling me, and I guess he was in surgery, getting like his fingers reattached and his arms sewn up and stuff. And they were telling me that they were there with him. He was going to be okay. And I said, please call me as soon as he's able to talk, as soon as he's able to get back in the room. Call me with any news, blah, blah, blah. So his other sister, the one that I had met, well, I met all three of them, those three sisters. But this one was the one that he's closest to, as well as I was cool with her because she was the one who did the witness thing at the wedding. So when I speak to her, she said, my sisters said that it was a friend of his that did it. My intuition just went berserk. And I said, oh my God, he's going to blame me. Now, I didn't say that to her, but I definitely said that to myself. And I was just trying to really figure out how that was going to transpire. But that was my first thoughts. Oh my God, he's going to find some way to blame me for this. So we'll pick this up in the next part.